Thank you for joining us for All Things Real Estate. Now here are your hosts, Brad Avergon and Gary Kelley.
Hey, Gary. What's going on?
Brad! I'm just sitting here reading Architectural Digest. That's all we do anymore is just sit around and read magazines, right?
You know, whatever floats your boat, Gary. Magazines with lots of pictures, I would imagine.
Architectural Digest during COVID and stuff got to be pretty thin. But it's back. But look you got a Thermador refrigerator. Look at that bad boy.
If I show that to my wife, I'll own one of those bad boys, and that's a hefty price tag.
I mean, here's advertising for a lumber yard. I mean, are you kidding me? Anyway, I'm Gary Kelley. I am with Castanetti Realty Group, and I'm joined by the.
Oh, sorry, I jumped on you. There you go. Who am I?
Go ahead.
I'm Brad Avergon with Fairway Independent Mortgage.
So, Brad, one of the things I was looking in Architectural Digest about was to talk about staging. Okay? We've had this debate in the office. There are people that say staging is important. There are people that say staging isn't a good use of funds. Sue and I do a process where we, in my words, Sue would probably come across the desk at me right now. In my words, we go into a house, we declutter as much as we can if that hasn't already happened. We then organize their furniture in the most appealing way to the stager. Because some people, they get pretty accustomed to living in their house and not having paths around the room and stuff like that. So you try to open that back up so that the natural flow that the architect designed is back in the house. And then as needed, we will bring in decor items. We've got a container or two of decor items. What's a decor item? All that crap that they sell at HomeSense, Home Goods, TJ Maxx. Sue and our stager, they like going in and buying that stuff. And over time, you accumulate it. And, we've got a lot of, phony plant material, which I happen to like. I like plants, and so you never have enough plants on a place. We always put white towels in the bathrooms because people like the idea of a clean towel. They will take the Architectural Digest and they put it on a table, and they always put a pair of glasses on top. And, I actually saw that at a house the other day and went over to Sue and said, they stole the idea. What are your thoughts about that? What are your thoughts about staging?
So it reminds me of an episode of Seinfeld. I think I'm a big Seinfeld fan. And Jerry's talking to his mother. And he says something about, well, I don't think they like me. And his mother says, who wouldn't like you, Jerry? Who wouldn't like you? So I think the first thought is well, who wouldn't like my house? Look how beautifully it's decorated. Who wouldn't love this with all my stuff all around? And so I find there's a little bit of an adjustment, and I would imagine it's kind of a delicate conversation that you and Sue must have with clients, kind of explaining to them that your house is absolutely stunning. However, it's important to kind of get it back to a neutral place because people can't visualize themselves when they come into your home. Potential buyers can't visualize themselves in the property when your beautiful stuff is all over the place.
Yeah, the discussion goes along the line of your house is your house. And we need to make it generic so that it appeals to the broadest range of people coming through. And to do that, we're going to depersonalize your home. So all the family pictures come down, all the bowling trophies get put away, all that stuff, because it's got to be something where you can have the buyer come in and envision themselves living there. And you're not going to envision yourself living there if the bowling award from 2 years ago is sitting there on the the table. What I say to people, particularly the sensitive people in their homes, is the staging is going to be the most challenging part of the process. It's not that it's hard. It's that you're going to leave your house as your house in the morning, and you're going to come back in the afternoon, and it's going to be a generic house. And that can be startling to people. And the reaction we get often is either, what? This isn't our house. Followed by, I never knew it could look this good. Can we stay? And you get both extremes. We've had people where we get the house and we have open houses and we get the house under agreement. And that basically ends the public parading of people through the house. You might have an inspector or an appraiser coming through, but that's about it. And they fastidiously go back and return everything to where it was because they want it to be back to their house. Other people say, listen, I'm moving anyway. Might as well start packing now. Put stuff in the boxes. I tell people when you go through your closets, take the off-season stuff and put it in the closet now because you're not going to need it for the rest of the year. So, put it away now. Just a trick of staging. But it can be an emotional thing for people.
Oh, for sure. And I will openly admit, I was amongst the uneducated when it came to staging my own home. And look, I'm a guy. I think I'm pretty logical. I'm like, what do you mean? The house is the house. It's got this many rooms. It's got this many square feet, this many bedrooms, this many bathrooms. Come through. You like it, you like it. You don't like it, don't buy it. Move on. And it was hard for me to adjust my thinking to no. You got to dress it. You got to dress it a certain way so that people can visualize themselves in it. And I blame HGTV personally. I blame people who've been watching HGTV and in 30 minutes, a house goes from a disaster to a beautiful thing with those little tiny table ornaments and fantastic and cappuccino maker in the corner.
Right.
And it looks just beautiful. It looks stunning. So I think that's what buyers have come to get used to, and it requires professionals to, such as yourself, and to come in and say, yeah, your house is great, but people can't see that. They can't see themselves here. And so it took me some time. And you guys, I think, use some of your own stuff, but in our case, we had to go buy some of that stuff. And
we've bought it over time. Our stager and Sue, they will make a run to pick up a couple of things, and that's code for $100 worth of stuff out of HomeSense. And then it gets reused. Now, I will tell you that we got to the point this winter where the storage location was kind of filled to the gills. And I'm going to say that some of the stuff I didn't particularly like. And so I, of course, verbalized that, at which point I'm told that I have no sense of style and I have no this. But there were some things that over time had been purchased that they were a pain. We had a high top table that was really, really nice with a couple of stools. I loved using it, but I had no way of moving it without getting a truck. It wouldn't fit in my car. And so I said, it's a nice table, but it has to go. Or we've had, couch sectionals, things like that, it was nice when we got it, and we're pretty good at getting things on sale. But if it's a sectional that doesn't work, I just no need to have that. So we donated a bunch to the Greater Boston Association of Realtors, and they, basically moved it on to people that needed it far more than we did, and that's nice. But I think I'm a believer in staging. I'm not a believer in, well, we'll have the truck arrive with 5 bedrooms of furniture and they will set it up. That costs thousands, and it's just not the thing that I want to do. Sure, if we need to have a bed in a room and we don't have a bed, blow-up mattress works pretty well.
I made the mistake of sitting on one of those at an open house once, and it really kind of caught me by surprise. I went to sit down thinking it was a regular bed because it had the bedspread on it. It was all dressed up and looked mint, right? It looked beautiful. I sat down and the whole thing gave way. I think it was actually on cardboard boxes. That was the other trick. They put it on cardboard boxes. So I just collapsed into the thing and quickly reassembled it, not telling anybody.
Brad, let me tell you, the agent knew. The agent knew. So do you think that someone challenged me this morning that it doesn't increase the speed of sale? And I don't agree with that. I don't have statistics one way or the other, but my sense is a pleasantly staged house. We stage the house, then we clean, then we have our photos taken. Those photos are things that people are looking at, making a decision to come into the house or not. And they, I think, make a difference.
I begrudgingly, I'm going to have to agree with that. And that's having gone through, the experience where I didn't have the house really staged professionally. And we needed to go back and reassess that. And, again, I think, it's a house. Come on. It's a house. It's got this many bedrooms, this many baths, this many square foot. It's well maintained. It's well kept. It's clean. Why doesn't it just walk in and see it? This is what it is. And I think the difference is that it allows people to visualize themselves in a beautiful place, in a place that's up to date. It's modern. It's dressed professionally,
It concerns me that you keep talking about dressing the house.
Yeah.
Let's hold that thought. And if someone wants to talk to you about dressing their house, how do they reach you, Brad?
Best way to reach me is via my cell phone, Gary, which is 978-375-5531, or they can reach me at brad@bradavergon.com. And Gary, how do they reach you about dressing a house?
Well, you don't. Talking about staging, I can be reached at 508-733-6005 or Gary@movewithgary.com. Brad, let's pay some bills and then we'll start back up again.
See you on the flip side.
Stay tuned. More All Things Real Estate coming right up.